Welcome to And Then What, the segment where we break down the headlines and figure out what the hell's happened since then. Traditionally, we've been running this as a segment at the end of each episode, but this week was a big one. Last year, we reported on efforts by the administration to rescind the Roadless Rule. The Roadless Rule was basically a plan to decommission unmaintained roads that led into the deepest reaches of our forests. A lot of these roads were undermaintained. They would have taken millions and millions and millions of dollars to repair. And the Forest Service just felt, hey, maybe this would be better for the budget, and maybe it would be better for the environment if we let these old mining and logging roads go. Areas protected by the Roadless Rule help protect forests, wildlife, clean water. They have incredible recreation. This summer I've spent 2 weekends in Roadless Areas in Washington, and I think what struck me most is that I didn't even realize that these were special areas or something that unique compared to other lands. I just think of them as forests and mountains that I climb, hike, and ride my bike in that don't have as much red tape because there's no lottery for backpacking permits like there are in many popular wilderness areas. They're just big areas of backcountry. Today, Tracy Stone-Manning, Executive Director of the Wilderness Society and former Director of the Bureau of Land Management, joins us to talk about the latest efforts to dismantle protections for our public lands. As always, there's a way to take action in the show notes. It makes a difference. You'll find out. I'm Fitz Call. You're listening to the Dirtbag Diaries. Last year, the administration announced that they had this intention to rescind the Roadless Rule. It's a policy implemented in 2001 that protects nearly 59 million acres of national forest lands from development. What are some of the benefits that the public has seen?
What this protection does is protect clean water, protect clean air. Really important for trout, really important for elk. Elk do not like roads, and really important for the overall health of our forests, right? For 25 years, this rule has worked really, really well, and there is no reason on God's green earth to take it away now. Just not one reason.
You know, obviously there are the benefits to clean water, but what are we talking about in terms of our landscapes if the Roadless Rule is rescinded? What could potentially happen, both as people who love spending time outdoors, but as a broader community, society, and country? What do we stand to lose?
Let's think back way to the beginning of when the Forest Service was first created, right? The act that created the Forest Service talks about an agency whose job it is to deliver clean water downstream to communities, right? That clean water Americans still rely on today. Tens of millions of Americans, when they turn on their tap and drink water, it's water that's come from roadless forested lands, right? Talk about a precious resource, right? And then there's this incredible asset in the form of millions of acres that we all get to go explore. We get to go be in nature that's as it was intended to be, as the planet made it, right? And boy, howdy, are they fun places to be in, right? Last summer, I put on a backpack. I walked into a roadless area for 4 days, and my brain got better, right?
Where'd you go?
I went into the East Pioneers in Montana.
Nice.
Yeah. There are thousands of hiking trails, right? There are 5,500 rock climbing routes. There's 550 river miles, right? There are so many places to go. Enjoy nature, be with your friends, be outside, touch grass. We all stand to lose that.
So last September, there was this initial comment period where the public could make their initial concerns about rescinding the Roadless Rule known. There were over 600,000 comments. 99% of them were opposing the repeal of the rule. Now the Forest Service has released the Draft Environmental Impact Statement, or the DEIS, which essentially repeals the rule. Now we get another chance to weigh in, albeit quickly. This is kind of a hard question for me to ask because I believe in participation, but it feels to me that sometimes this administration isn't listening to the American people. So why do we have to comment? Why do we have to keep doing this if we clearly have somebody that doesn't? I mean, if 99% of us weighed in already and said, hey, we don't want this, why do we have to keep commenting?
The administration is serving one constituency, and that is really, really, really wealthy corporations. And what they want us all to do is to be quiet. And I know in my heart and in my bones, the one way to stop this from happening, the one way to ensure that we get these assets back is for all of us to use our voices, right? That's why even though the Forest Service has not yet had public meetings, people all over the country are organizing their own meetings and getting people to come to the microphone and talking to the media and talking to their elected representatives to say, hey man, we don't like what the administration is doing here and you need to stop them, right? That matters so much. And then there's a real legal record that is being built. This is a formal process. And every comment that the public makes goes into a legal record. And that legal record, when people go to court, if these guys make the wrong decision, is going to be really important.
As a leader in this community, has it been pretty inspiring to watch what's happening at the grassroots community level when it comes to standing up for public lands?
Totally. I mean, totally. Our public lands are our literal and figurative common ground. And people using their voices to celebrate that common ground and to defend that common ground is amazing. It's amazing, and it's what makes me know that we're all going to get through this together.
It's really interesting. You obviously are running the Wilderness Society now. Mm-hmm. You also ran the Bureau of Land Management, which is responsible for managing 245 million acres of public lands. Yeah. Our public lands do a lot for us as a country. They do provide joy and recreation, obviously, which I care a lot about, which we all care a lot about. But they're also resources that power our economies. They contain acreages that we need to use for solar and wind. There are minerals, oil and gas. They have a big role to play in our society beyond just recreation. There has always been a dance when it comes to managing them. And I'm curious from your perspective, as somebody who has run one of these huge government organizations, like what you're seeing happen at a place like the Bureau of Land Management right now, what you're seeing happen at a place like the National Forest Service right now. Yeah. Does this compare to anything in modern history?
There's so much to unpack in that
question. I know.
Yeah. So let's start with no. This is not a pendulum swing, right? This is unprecedented. Running the Bureau of Land Management was this truly outrageous privilege because the people who work at the Bureau of Land Management are real public servants. And they are real pragmatists, right? They love our public lands. They get that our public lands deliver for the American people, everything you just mentioned, right? Energy and food and timber and solace and wildness. Their job is to manage all those things at once, right? And to ensure that all those things are available to future generations. No administration has come after our public lands and the people who serve us, who manage those public lands, like this one has. They're trying to tear down our public lands, right? They're trying to break these agencies so that they can throw up their hands and say, oh my God, the federal government, see, we told you they can't manage these lands. We have to transfer these lands to the states or give them away to private industry. Mm-hmm. Ultimately, that's really what this is about, just tearing down the fabric of our public lands. But here's the good news. I know that the American public is not going to stand for it. I know that folks are going to use their voices, that people innately understand that it's our job to pass these places on to future generations so that a kid gets to sit out and look at stars in wonder 100 years from now, right?
Now that the comment period is open, like what are ways that our listeners can have their comments recorded? And is there a way to write a more impactful comment? As somebody who's been a decision maker, can you give us a little insight into that?
Look, I know people are worn down, but I'm here to tell you, having sat in the position of being a director of one of these agencies, it really matters to use your voice. It just really, really matters. For folks who have been out in the forest and who care about a given spot, that story is so important to tell, right? These places are important to me because, and then fill in the blank. The more you personalize it, the more impact it has. You do not have to sound like some sort of ecologist with a PhD. You can speak from the heart and tell your government why these places matter to you, and it will have impact. Roadless places in our country are wild places. They're where nature is its healthiest. It's really our job and our obligation to the future to make sure that those places stay intact, right? Elk don't get a vote. Fish don't get a vote. They don't get to file a comment, but we do, right? We get to speak on their behalf. Future generations, they don't get to talk right now, but we get to talk for them, and that's our job.
We're posting these pieces on our website, dirtbagdiaries.com, in case you want to share. And then what? Thanks to Diaries Plus members for making this reporting possible. Links are on our website and in the recent show notes. Thank you for caring about public lands.